Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram is at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today we are talking that there are rumors allegedly that Jimmy Kimmel and Disney are working to reach a compromise to allegedly bring a show back. So this is courtesy of Variety. This article came out yesterday at about 4:30 Pacific time, which would have been about 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's get into it. It says that insiders caution that no agreement is in sight, but discussions continue as Kimmel weighs concerns about staff job losses if show ends. And so then it says Jimmy Kimmel and Disney are working towards reaching a compromise that would allow Jimmy Kimmel Live to return to ABC. The veteran host, business, and legal representatives are deep in discussions with Disney and ABC leaders in hopes of finding a path to a compromise that would allow for the return of Jimmy Kimmel Live, according to three people with knowledge of the situation. The host has made no public comment since the show was abruptly pulled from its regular 11:35 p.m. slot on September 17th, with Disney saying only that the program would be off its schedule indefinitely after one of the biggest owners of the TV stations in the U.S., Nexstar, said it intended to preempt airings of the program following remarks the host made in relation to 45 and 47 and the slaying of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Sinclair, another large station owner, said it was taking Kimmel off its stations. Kimmel has hosted ABC's late night franchise since 2003 and in recent years has become a key face of the network as the host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the Academy Awards, and other specials. There is no guarantee Kimmel and Disney will come to terms on an agreement to return to the airways, these people caution, nor is it clear where Kimmel's mindset stands on what he would and would not accept from ABC as conditions of taking the stage again for Jimmy Kimmel Live. It is understood that Kimmel is mindful of the effects of a shutdown would have on dozens of his production staffers, as well as vendors in Los Angeles who work on the show, according to one source with knowledge of the situation. The host is also aware some staff and crew members are still digging out of the financial hole created by the months-long writers and actor strikes in 2023. Disney representatives declined to comment. Kimmel's media representative did not respond to requests for comment. The incendiary situation around Kimmel has unleashed a torrent of criticism of Disney from the left and the right. Free speech advocates have decreed the company's swift move to take Kimmel off the air. Conservatives have cheered, and 45 and 47 has reiterated his threat to push for broadcast networks to lose their licenses for allowing any anti-45 and 47 and anti-MAGA voices on their airways. Demonstrations erupted on Thursday outside of Disney's offices in New York and in Burbank, outside the theater complex in Hollywood where Jimmy Kimmel Live is produced. There is no doubt that Kimmel and Disney need to proceed with caution. The company needs many TV stations to distribute Jimmy Kimmel Live across the U.S. if it is to generate the ratings the network has guaranteed to advertisers. Ad spending on Jimmy Kimmel Live has totaled $51.1 million in 2024, according to data from Guideline, a tracker of ad spending accounting for 21% of all advertising on late-night programs. It's understood that ABC and Disney brass had been flagging concerns to Kimmel for some time about the sharpness of his critiques of 45 and 47 and his unprecedented takeover of federal agencies. Kimmel has, like other commentators, not held back on his disdain for the 45 and 47 administration's campaign with immigration and customs enforcement officers to round up suspected undocumented immigrants on the streets and in workplaces without regard for constitutional norms of due process and equal justice. At the same time, Kimmel's remarks on Monday about how conservatives were using Kirk's death to make political points and about President Trump's muted reaction to the matter while talking to reporters has spurred a Republican crusade. FCC Chairman Brendan Carr threatened earlier on Wednesday to take action against ABC. As Disney's decision was revealed, Carr said that he wanted to thank Nexstar for doing the right thing in a statement on social media. Local broadcasters have an obligation to serve the public interest. While this may be an unprecedented decision, it is important for broadcasters to push back on Disney programming that they determine falls short of community. Since that time, Carr has made more statements suggesting he might investigate other Disney shows like The View. As the controversy swirled, Disney executives felt that they had no choice but to bump Kimmel in order to let the MAGA media-fueled controversy subside. All the media companies involved are likely to have matters under government review in months to come. Nexstar is in the mix of trying to acquire another large TV station owner, Tegna, for $6.2 billion, a transaction that requires the approval of the FCC. A Nexstar spokesman has said that Carr's comments had no bearing on his decision to preempt Kimmel's show. Sinclair last month announced a comprehensive strategic review of its broadcast business. Any M&A involving local TV stations should be subject to FCC review and approval. Disney, too, will require government permission to move forward in some of the critical business initiatives. The company has secured a deal that will give the National Football League a 10% stake in its giant ESPN sports media outlet and has also working to buy a majority stake in the Fubo live streaming service and merge it with a similar product tied to the live viewing networks via its own Hulu. Free speech advocates from both sides of the political aisle have decreed the moves that forced Kimmel's show off the air. Both Senator Ted Cruz, a Republican from Texas, and the American Civil Liberties Union have suggested that government should not silence by dissenting voices in America, as the ability to speak one's mind is paramount in the U.S. Kimmel, who has hosted his late-night program on ABC since 2003, has in recent years weighed when he might step down from his midnight duties. People who know him say he's closer to the end of his late-night tenure than the beginning, but he also knows that the show helps him with other Disney-backed activities, such as hosting the current edition of ABC's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and other projects. The host knows he has better roads to take an exit to, and Disney seemed interested in working with him to draw a map. So that is the latest, you guys. But it's just the hypocrisy for me. Could you imagine if this was Joe Biden and they tried to get rid of, Sean Hannity or something like that? It's just crazy to me. It is just crazy to me. If the Biden administration, if Obama's administration tried to get people fired off of Fox News, like what are we doing? But here's my thing. I don't know if I truly believe, some of the conservatives that are speaking out in support of Jimmy Kimmel, as much as I feel that this is more about, hey, if this can happen to Jimmy Kimmel, this can happen to us in another administration. Because see, now you've opened the door. You have opened the door that if whoever the next Democratic president is, or whatever else, although I don't think they'll do this, I don't think they would stoop to this level, but now you've given them that agency to do so. You've given them that authority to do so, because basically 45 and 47 has opened that door that, hey, if I don't like what you say about me, I can get you removed off the air. That is now the precedent that is now being set. So now that can apply to anybody now. that if I don't like what you say about me, I can have you removed. And I can try to, completely bully people to remove you off the network. I can ABUSE my power to have you removed off the network. So I feel like that is why certain people that you're not expecting are in support of this, right? Because the thing of it too is these people also need these shows to promote their products, to promote their brands, to promote their projects. Political people need to go on these platforms if they're launching a campaign, if they're running for office, and all of these things. All of these late night shows have been paramount in promoting these people. And that is why different actors and people are speaking out about this, because it's flat out ridiculous. But also, I find it's interesting that now all of a sudden that people said that they were canceling their Disney Plus memberships, that people were canceling their Hulu memberships, and people are protesting outside of the Disney studios and protesting outside of where Jimmy Kimmel is produced, that now all of a sudden you want to have conversations? Now, all of a sudden, y'all want to talk about the ad revenue that's spent, that $51 million that is spent on this show? And all of a sudden, now you want to do negotiations? But I thought y'all just said the other day that this was going to be suspended indefinitely, or that this was going to be canceled, but y'all weren't expecting the backlash. Y'all were not expecting the backlash. Y'all were not expecting people to fight back with their dollars and say, guess what? I don't need your streaming services then. Guess what? I don't need to tune into your network then. Even if you don't like Jimmy Kimmel, this is insanity. And the thing of it is, I can't stress enough, what he said, it didn't even warrant all of this. He wasn't even talking about what even happened. He was talking about the fan base. He was talking about the fan base and how hypocritical they were being. And he specifically was talking about 45 and 47 being performative and not giving a bleep about what happened. Talking about the new construction at the ballroom. Going to a golf outing instead of the vigil. That was the thing. But people twist and turn, and this is how fake news works, right? You can twist and turn something and sensationalize it into whatever narrative you want to put out there. So if you put it out there by people who do not like Jimmy Kimmel or didn't see the show or didn't see what he said, and say Jimmy Kimmel is, being insensitive, is making fun of what happened. If you're doing all of those buzzwords to make it seem something that it's not, then you can rage bait people to be like, well, this isn't fair. Cancel Jimmy Kimmel. He did this, he did that, but it wasn't true. And now that people have actually watched the clip, it makes zero sense for this to be the offense that got him pulled off the air. But people are so sensitive these days. People can't handle criticism. People cannot handle when people are called out. And then that is why Stephen Colbert, that is why Jimmy Fallon all came out in support. Yeah, technically they have this friendly competition of who's gonna, be the highest rated late night talk show and everything else, but there's camaraderie there. There's camaraderie there. There is a level of respect there, because regardless of their ratings battle of their shows and everything else, they all want to produce a good program, and they know it's strength in numbers. They know they're better together than apart. And that's why I always tell y'all, iron sharpens iron, right? But it's just crazy to me that now all of a sudden after 2 days, now all of a sudden there's negotiations? No. You're not fooling me one bit. You're not fooling me one bit. Y'all were not anticipating this backlash and repercussions because you're basically setting a precedent that literally 45 and 47 can pull anybody at any point in time if he doesn't like what they say about them. And that can mess a lot of things up for a lot of people down the line. And y'all want to minimize that impact because now, like I said, you've set the tone for another administration, a Democratic president or whoever else that wants to be just as petty, to do the same thing to you, to do the same thing to people on Fox News. Hey, you know what? I don't like these people on Fox News. Let me get them off the air. Let me get them off the air. I don't like what Hannity's saying. Let me get him pulled from Fox. That's exactly why now all of a sudden negotiations are happening, because they realize it can be any of them too. So there's that. That is it. That is all for this video. It is finito. It is the end. It is finale for this video. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.